Lakers Suns. 6 games, much hype. This matchup expires tonight. For LA, a victory greenlights the much-anticipated hallway series. Which Kobe will take the court? The one who makes his team the star, or the one who dropped 50? Lakers fans are hoping for the one who refuses to lose, or we might be seeing the end of number 8. After coming back from 3-1 down, Phoenix is 1 game from trading sunset for sunrise. Steve Nash, the MVP? Forget the trophy. That question is about to be answered in the only way that really matters. Game 7, win or go home. Next on TNT.
Welcome back, everyone, to U.S. Airways Arena for Game 7 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. Right now, let's go to PA announcer Jeff Scott for tonight's McDonald's starting lineups.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our visitors from Los Angeles, California. A warm Suns welcome for the Los Angeles Lakers. At forward from Rhode Island, number 7, Lamar Odom. At forward from Arizona, number 4, Luke Walton. At center from Glen Academy High School, number 54, Kwame Brown. At guard from Lower Merion High School, number 8, Kobe Bryant. And at guard from Fordham, number 1, Smush Parker. The head coach of the Lakers is Phil Jackson.
For the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the All-Star, number 31, Doug Matrix Marion. A 6'8" forward from Miami, number 22, James Jones. A 6'8" center from France, the NBA most improved player, Hollywood Fonse, number 3, Boris Diaw. A 6'8" forward from Florida International, number 19, and a 6'3" guard from Sarah Claire, your MVP, number 13, Steve Nash.
It's win or go home. Our tip-off is coming up next as you're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT. Games, the Phoenix Suns have won the last 2 straight elimination game wins. And Doug, the focus tonight on these 2 players, Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash.
Well, these are their leaders, and Kevin, interesting, you go through all the numbers, and out at the bottom you see in Game 7s, both of them 2-0. One of these great players is going to have to lose today.
Doug, experience in a Game 7. What has been your experience with experience in a game like this, a deciding game of the series?
I think the one thing when you get too hyper, one of the things that's affected is your shooting. The Lakers are going to go inside, so they would have an advantage maybe to start this game a little bit, whereas the Suns have a tendency, obviously, to shoot a lot of perimeter shots. Now, in Game 2, Kevin, the Suns got up to a very slow shooting start, and it affects this crowd. I think it's important for Phoenix to come out and do what they did in Game 6. Hit some shots early. It will rev this crowd up. That's what this city feasts on, is the outstanding shooting of the Phoenix Suns.
We have a veteran officiating crew tonight: Steve Jabby, Joe Forte, and Mike Callahan. Phil Jackson has never lost a first-round series as the coach of the Chicago Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers.
And keep your eye on Smush Parker. He has been struggling mightily. Phil Jackson says if he doesn't play well today, I might have to get him out and go to someone else.
Gets Odom inside. He has been a handful for Sean Marion the entire series. Kwame Brown with a rebound inside by Sean Marion.
See what they've done there on that situation is they loaded up the one side of the floor. The Suns have been double teaming from the weak side. That time they couldn't double team.
Diaw to Sean Marion. And getting him started early, in the words of the coach, Mike D'Antoni, was a huge factor tonight.
And for the Lakers, Kevin, they cannot miss a lot of easy shots around the basket. In Game 1, they missed a lot of point-blank shots.
He has been scoreless the last 2 second halves. But in the first half, he's been effective. Another Phoenix rebound. Sean Marion. Bryant coming off a 35 attempt, 50-point game in 52 minutes in Game 6. Walton can't get it inside. Just what you were talking about.
That's 3 easy shots they missed around the basket.
And Diaw the other way. And Sean Marion is put in 4 points.
Mr. Activity, Sean Marion. That's the way he scores. He got a nice little flip shot early in the game, then the tip in. Kevin, he had 20 deflections in the game the other night. An amazing number. Normally a team will get 25 in a game. That means he got his hands on 20 passes from the Lakers.
He's very active indeed. Here comes Odom. Kobe Bryant with the shot clock at 5, and there is Raja Bell right on him. Doubled by Marion.
Oh, my. See, that's what Kobe's got to do when he senses his team needs a basket. That's when he's got to go to work, and then he's got to try to get guys involved. He's got a delicate balance here today.
Nash coming off a 32-point performance and 13 assists in Game 6. Draws the defense of Odom. Nash.
How does he do it? How does he do it?
It looks like he's in slow motion every time he does do it.
That was a guy 6'10". He just took his time and shot a little floater in the lane up under his arm.
Gotten back at Diaw. Brown had a hard time reeling in the pass, and finally he does and comes up with a close-in 2 for Los Angeles.
Well, he's coming off a very good game, 8 of 9 from the floor, 17 points, 9 rebounds, but he got in foul trouble, took himself out of that game.
Pass to Boris Diaw from France. They're shoving a foul on Kwame Brown. Well, he got in foul trouble here on Tuesday early. He can't do that tonight.
What's Steve Nash? He just takes his time, up and under, footwork, little shot under the arm of Lamar Odom. Good start here for the Phoenix Suns. Nash has a field goal, Marion too.
Good rotation to James Jones. It's a 2-point shot, the rebound by Kwame Brown, and the Lakers trying to withstand the emotional burst at the beginning of the game.
That's what you want to do on the road. Take that hit for about 5 minutes and stay right in the game.
Kobe to Brown.
Nice pass.
And wide open underneath was Walton.
Very nice pass by Kwame Brown. Had 5 assists actually in Game 3. Passed the ball very well that day.
Nash with the 3.
That's that step-up screen, Kevin, we talked about in our open. The Lakers have to decide what they're going to do. You cannot go behind that screen and let Nash walk into that shot.
Kobe's inside on Bell. Kwame Brown with the shot clock now down to 6, and nobody home. Walton was trying to get possession inside. That's the first Los Angeles Laker turnover tonight.
Keep your eye on those turnovers the other night, Kevin. They had 20. They gave up 29 points. That was the difference in the game.
Here's the probable MVP of the season, Steve Nash, sliding it inside to Boris Diaw.
That's that other side of the screen and roll we talked about in our open. That's that step-up screen on the sideline. Weak side rotation. Too slow getting there.
Kobe screen, Parker fires. Smush Parker with his first offering tonight. Listen, he's only 3 of 25 in the last 2+ games.
Another switch this time. Nash has Walton. Gives him space and knocks down the shot. See, those big guys are going to switch, and they're just going to try to keep Nash in front of them. So, Kevin, it's important for Steve just to get his rhythm. He can get that shot. Nash has started 3 of 3. He has 7 points in the first 5 minutes of the game. Odom contorts. It's picked up by the Suns, who are +3 in rebounding so far. Nash and a 3 from James Jones.
In there, Nokia, and by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The Phoenix Suns have scored the last 10 points. With that in mind, let's check in with our David Aldridge for tonight's Gatorade Around the Cooler report. David, good evening.
Hey, guys. You know, this is a Phoenix Suns team that's very young, not a lot of playoff experience, but there's one member of the organization that has painful memories of a 3-1 series against the Lakers. Jerry Colangelo is now the team's chairman, but in 1970, he was the head coach, and his Suns in their second season in the league got a 3-1 lead on the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs, only to see the Lakers come back and win that series, winning the last 3 games. Bill Jackson, on the other hand, has his own more pleasant memories. His team with the Knicks in 1973 led the Celtics 3-1. They blew 2 games. They had to play at Boston Garden in Game 7. But an unknown guard named Dean Meminger outplayed JoJo White, and the Knicks won that series. The first time the Celtics lost a 7-game series. Jackson said that his coach, Red Holtzman, really got after Meminger for not guarding White. He said he might have to do that tonight with his own Smush Parker. Guys?
Dave, thank you very much. Neither team has made a change out of that timeout. There's a steal by Boris Diaw. 7 of 10 shooting so far for the Phoenix Suns to begin this game. Kwame Brown is on Steve Nash. Spreading the floor. Nash.
Well, Steve Nash tried to bait Kwame Brown into a foul there. Kwame did a nice job, kept his hands up. Nash tried to get into his body, did not get the call.
Bell is on Kobe Bryant. Nash was fronting him.
Well, Steve Nash, see, he's just laying off Smush Parker. So Smush Parker's going to have to either perform, or Phil's going to have to get somebody out there on the floor who can get the job done.
Brown from right in front, can't hit for the Los Angeles Lakers. I know, Doug, you were really intrigued tonight with Phil Jackson's dynamics and demeanor on the sideline.
Well, normally he's used to having a very experienced teams in these situations. He sits back, and if he crosses his legs, he's very animated. The ball goes out of Sean Marion's hands. In a game like today, and I spoke to him before the game, I said, Phil, are you going to have to be more active, more animated? He said, I'm probably have to get up, do a lot more than I normally like to do up on my feet, drag the guys through this, maybe take quicker timeouts, and maybe even have to get a technical early so that the referees know that we're here tonight and ready to play.
Lakers haven't led so far, and they trail right now by as much as they trailed by all game long, 10 points. Kobe for 3. And an offensive rebound by Smush Parker. Marion and Odom have been joined at the hip this entire series, and it's been fun to watch the two battle. Odom inside, who is averaging a double-double in this series.
Well, when he can swing back to that little hand and shoot that jump hook, he's just too big and strong for Sean Marion. There's that switch once again, this time a steal. Smush Parker needs that field goal. That basket has been looking like a little postage stamp. Maybe that will give him a little confidence. Back-to-back turnovers from the Phoenix Suns.
For Parker, that's his first field goal since the final minute of Game 5. That was 2 games ago. There's James Jones, the ex-Indiana Pacer. And Boris Diaw.
that shot is there for him. Kwame Brown is backed way off of him, so Boris Diaw will take his time and have confidence. He'll be able to knock that 15-footer down the whole night.
Diaw played great in overtime on Thursday. A missed three by Parker, and he is now 0 of 2. And Doug told you earlier he'll be yanked if he can't hit that shot. He has been struggling now. 3 of 26 over the last couple of games. Marion, that's 3 of 26 from outside, not regarding that breakaway we saw moments ago.
I think the Lakers have to feel pretty good right now, though. They've taken a big hit. The Suns are shooting the ball well.
Bryant inside, whistles all over the court. And that is a foul, and it's called on R1G7, who was suspended in Game 6 because of a clothesline on Kobe Bryant. It is the first on Bell, who will leave the game right now.
And his team gave him a big reprieve. Had he had to finish the season out with that suspension and his team losing in Los Angeles, that would have been something he would have had to live with all summer long. Now he's got a chance to be a part of his team today, do his job, and get his team into the next round. So his teammates bought him a big chance here today in Game 7.
Bell was headed off. Now they've told him to go back on the floor, but the Phoenix Suns have made 2 substitutions. Tim Thomas has come in, along with Leandro Barbosa and Kobe Bryant at the line. When you look at the Bell-Kobe Bryant dynamics of what it's been not only in this series, but throughout each career, where do you see it now settling tonight after the suspension in Game 6 to Bell?
Well, I think it's important for R1G7 that he doesn't try to get into a personal confrontation with Kobe. We know what Kobe's capable of doing. And Kobe's going to keep playing the same way. He's going to dish out punishment, and he's going to play tough. And you just have to be able to stand there and play him the best way you can.
Nash to Thomas. Remember, it was Tim Thomas who had the shot at the end of regulation in Game 6 Thursday in Los Angeles that tied it at 105 and sent it to overtime.
Now keep your eye on the matchup. Walton is being played by Barbosa. Walton obviously wants to go inside. Barbosa wants to use his speed in the open court.
The Lakers have not made a substitution yet in this game. Shot clock is down to 6. Bell on Bryant. Kobe with a great move. Nash leading all scorers with 7 points and 3 assists so far. Draws the defense of Parker.
Here's that screen roll again. This time it's a switch. Parker, they double team. Look for the open man and the three-point shot.
Barbosa by Kobe.
How good was he in Game 6 the other night? Barbosa, 7 of 9 from the floor. He had 22 points on 9 shots.
He just pushes the pace so well.
Well, he changes the whole speed of the game right there. Look at this. He's got a chance to get out on the open court, and that's why Phil Jackson said, look, they're missing R1G7 in Game 6. I don't know that that's a great advantage for us because Barbosa comes in with such great speed that he changes all the matchups. He's going to keep you in that fast break mode the whole night.
So he forces the tempo, and Doug, when he has scored well, Phoenix has won all 3 games.
He had 15 in Game 1, got to the line actually 8 times in that game, made all 8 of them.
Shot clock is down to 4. Marion knocks it away. Odom vacuums it and fires. Rebound by Tim Thomas, who's playing still with the bad left knee. Nice breakup. Second steal for Smush Parker. But he throws it right back to the Suns. Thomas from Marion.
Mike D'Antoni told me before the game the Lakers are laying on that Steve Nash bounce pass. He's got to be very careful. They're playing him for the bounce pass now.
Bryant is 2 of 3. That's out of bounds, kicked. 2.5 to play in this first quarter, and the shot clock will be at 14 when we come back. Nash has 7. Balanced scoring up and down the roster for the Phoenix Suns. Kobe Bryant is put in 5. It's Game 7. Lead by 11 points, equaling their biggest tonight, and they're feasting, the Suns are, on the pick and roll.
It's what we talked about in the open. This time they go underneath the pick. Nash reads it, steps back and shoots the 3. Very poor weak side rotation. Lamar Odom has got to get there sooner. Nash does it once again, this time with Thomas. And look, Odom is slow getting there once again. That weak side has got to read that. And Kevin, there's a coach that you talk about pre-rotating. You pre-rotate to the area so they can't get all the way to the basket. The Lakers are not doing a good job on that on the weak side.
Already 24 first quarter points, Doug, for the Phoenix Suns. And in quarters where they have scored 30 points or more, and especially in the first, that bodes well for Phoenix.
And you can see Phil Jackson has not gone to his bench at all. Mike D'Antoni has gone to his bench. They've gotten 7 points already, Barbosa and Tim Thomas.
But no changes for either team out of that break. Here comes Odom, who has really been a chore for the Suns. Marion ahead. Barbosa, look at his speed. Leandro Barbosa off the bench had been terrific so far.
You know that old Roadrunner cartoon when you get ready to pass somebody and you go beep beep?
Right.
That's what his nickname should be, beep beep.
Kobe, 2 of 3. Odom, 1 of 4. Brown, 1 of 3. Bell is on Bryant. Shot clock is down to 3 for Kobe. Another rebound by the Phoenix Suns. Suns have hit 4 straight. Thomas for 3. And Luke Walton grabs the loose ball for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, you can see the pace the Suns want. They want those big men to run Kwame Brown and Lamar Odom on every possession. Make them work. Got Marion now on Kwame Brown in the low post.
Kwame trying to eat him up. Thomas with the rebound.
They've missed about 3 easy shots. The Lakers have about 5 misses in the paint. That's what I talked about. That's what they did in Game 1 that got them off to a slow start.
Walton and Brown are a combined 2 of 7 inside. Odom is 1 of 4. Nash with Odom on him, and the shot clock down to 3. Barbosa.
To that speed of Barbosa, there's no way Luke Walton can handle that. Now what happens? The back line has to step up, and you get the easy score on the front line. Suns are attacking beautifully.
Brown again inside. That's a foul. It's on Leandro Barbosa. First on Barbosa.
Kwame Brown steps up. Now there's no one down there to play Sean Marion. See, those are the kind of baskets that Sean Marion lives off of. He's 3 of 5 from the floor. He has a little floater in the lane, a dunk. He's got 5 rebounds, 6 points, so he's gotten off to a great start. Diaw's playing well. Kwame Brown needs to step up, settle himself down. He's fumbled a couple passes and missed a couple shots around the basket. He's 1 of 4 from the floor.
Kwame Brown, right out of high school to the NBA, began with Washington, then traded in the offseason to the Los Angeles Lakers. Worked a lot with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar throughout the course of the regular season.
They really worked on trying to get him to slow down, and over the last 18 games of the season in the playoffs, he's done a terrific job for them, averaging almost 14 points a game and about 8 rebounds. So he's been a big part of this Laker resurrection in the second part of the season.
After being tied at 6, the Suns on a 22-9 run. Parker looked like he almost had his 3rd steal of the first quarter. He picks up a foul right there. 28-15, Suns on top. Under a minute to play, David, here in this first quarter. What do you have?
Yeah, well, remember, you talked about Kobe having most of the playoff experience on the Laker team. And he tried to calm his teammates down the last couple of games. And shoot around today, he said, hey, look, guys, we were on championship teams where we had trouble closing out the opposition. Just relax and play your game. So far, it hasn't gone that way, guys.
Bell right there, continuing the Phoenix onslaught. 70% shooting by the Phoenix Suns.
I expect Kobe to start getting a lot more active here and looking for his shot. His team is down 15.
Brown again. They want him to succeed. Another in close miss. He is 1 of 5. Barbosa against newly instated Devin George. And a foul. Devin George will pick it up. He just got off the bench and tagged with his first for LA.
And remember now, the recipe for Phil Jackson was limit the amount of 30-point quarters you give the Suns. In Game 1, the Suns got 2. And the next 4 games, only 1 in all those. The other night, they had 2 in the first half. Had 60 at halftime, Kevin. More importantly, they had 21 in 5 minutes in overtime. So the Suns starting to attack and play their pace.
The Brazilian Barbosa. Tomorrow on ABC, it's Dallas and San Antonio. And Cleveland and Detroit, both Game 1s. Friday on ESPN, Miami, New Jersey. With Phoenix and the Clippers, or the Lakers and the Clippers. That's on ESPN. Ryan Cook is now checked in as well. No fouls to give either way, and 21 seconds to play in our first quarter.
Now, one of the things the Suns worry about is when Brian Cook comes into the game, he loves to run a pick and pop, and he's a very, very good shooter, so be aware of that on the last play with he and Kobe.
The Lakers have missed their last 5 shots from the field. Bryant against Bell. Thomas doubling. Parker, wide open 3. Another miss. 0.5 remaining. 0.5 of a second remaining. The Phoenix Suns will inbound and smush Parker, who is absolutely killing the Lakers in the last 3 games with his lack of scoring when they need him to score 1 of 4 tonight. Nope, they're over 30 points, and Doug, you called it. When they've won, they've averaged 32 points in their 3 wins in the first quarter.
Well, look what they've shot, 70%, 8 assists, and only 3 turnovers. I thought it was important for Phoenix today to have a great first quarter. You see this crowd, you don't want to lose them with bad shooting. The Lakers didn't, they're up 17. Excuse me, the Suns didn't, they're up 17.
A for the Lakers and B for the Suns. Text AB to 88222. Doug Collins and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan, live from the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Now the question becomes, with the Lakers, Doug, staggering, will Kobe continue to stay disciplined, trusting his teammates, or will he take off like he did in Game 6?
Well, Phil's quote says, in Game 7, you must trust yourself and trust your teammates. Kobe is 2 of 4. The rest of his team, 4 of 16. The starting front line for the Lakers, a combined 3 of 12. They've missed some point-blank baskets. Now, the Suns love to run a screen roll here with Diaw and Marion and try to throw a lob on this play, so keep your eye on this.
It's Bell, picked up by George. Bryant remains. Nash is resting for Phoenix. Look at Barbosa, slash down the lane.
His speed, they can't keep up with him. So they've gone to a small lineup right now. Eddie House is in the game. They'd love to be able to get a bit of lift from him.
House and Barbosa. We got Bell and Diaw and Marion, the 5 for the Phoenix Suns. Bryant, Cook, George, Odom, Vujacic for the Los Angeles Lakers. And here comes Barbosa again. Look at him push the tempo and dish. It's Eddie House for 2. Rebound by Bryant.
He has the green light. Eddie House, he's in there to do one thing, and that's shoot the basketball.
Lakers have missed their last 7. They've hit nothing from the field in their last 5 minutes. Off of Marion, shot clock at 14 as we start the second quarter.
Watch this quickness out, Barbosa. The closeout by Kobe. He just takes the ball right past him. Remember now, Barbosa loves to drive to his left. Kobe closed out that time to his right hand.
It's Brian Cook. He played in Illinois and he slides in. He's got a nice outside shot, and he is part of the strength that is the Lakers bench. That field goal breaks a drought of over 5 minutes from Los Angeles from the field, going back to the first quarter. It's Diaw against Cook.
Nice job by Cook that time to body up Diaw. Just knocked him off balance.
Kobe's got 3 rebounds. He is 2 of 4 from the field. That time Bell didn't have a chance.
See now Steve Nash is off the floor. How much rest can he get? Look at this speed.
Barbosa.
This speed.
What acceleration.
Every time he does that, Steve Nash can buy a little bit more time. Remember how bad the second quarters were for the Suns in games 1 through 4. Well, in games 5 and 6, Mike D'Antoni went more to his starters, and that was the difference in those 2 quarters.
Odom against Diaw and doubled by Marion and off to Cook. Cook gets his own miss and puts it up and in. Lakers are losing the battle of the glass tonight, although they've been leading in rebounding throughout the series by as many as 12 and as little as 7 averaging a game. It's Barbosa again inside.
Well, he's just having fun right now. I mean, he's going to the basket. Somebody from the Lakers has got to step over and help and defend him. You get so concerned about giving up a 3, you give him layups.
The bench points of the Phoenix Suns now 16-4 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe with 3. Stroking the triple with Bell watching.
He's just trying to keep his team close until hopefully he can start getting some help.
Barbosa again. Vujacic. Odom is hurt. He's at the other end, so it's 4 against 5. This is Devin George. I think Odom got poked in the eye. Barbosa for 3.
He gets fouled shooting a 3. What a mental mistake by Lamar Odom. I think he was so unhappy when Barbosa drove on the last play, he got hit in the face. There was no call. That was a frustration foul, something you cannot do in Game 7. Watch this how he just goes out and pushes him in the face, it looked like. He was very upset that he didn't get the call the play before. Can't make those kind of plays in Game 7, Kevin. You've got to keep your poise.
A hug from Nash, some words of complaint from Lamar Odom. And tempers flaring early with the Lakers getting buzzsawed in Phoenix. 38-24 with 8:55 to play in our first half. You're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT. Of Lamar Odom. And then when Odom came back to defend, he came across the front of Barbosa's face in retaliation. There's been a technical foul. It's already been assessed to Tim Thomas. Odom, at the end of that play, was over arguing vehemently and is still out there talking right now with Mike Callahan. As you take a look at Lamar Odom, the ex-Clipper and Miami Heat player now, and here is Kobe Bryant at the other end shooting the technical free throw.
Well, obvious. Thomas said something probably to Lamar Odom or to the officials. Mike D'Antoni very upset. He thought that Lamar Odom went up to the head of Barbosa on that shot. Now he's going to shoot 3 free throws, but he thought that Odom should have gotten a technical as well.
Barbosa, originally a draft choice by the San Antonio Spurs. His rights were then traded to the Phoenix Suns after playing 3 years in the Brazilian League. And last year, he was not an intricate part of this team. This year, he has blossomed in his 3rd season.
Well, that's why when he struggled, the Suns struggled. They are so used to him coming off that bench and doing what he's doing today that when he went through those struggles in games 2 and 3 or 4, they missed that production. Now what they're able to do is you look out there, the Lakers are gone to a small lineup because now they are in a hole. And the speed of this Phoenix team has forced them to go small, so now they lose their post-up game and have to play small ball with the Suns.
Barbosa, 3 straight, and dug in these playoffs against the Los Angeles Lakers. Leandro Barbosa has gone 25 of 26 from the free throw line, 5 of 5 tonight, and from the field, 5 of 6 with the game-high 15. This is Odom inside. The hard-charging Diaw to Shawn Marion. And picked up by Lamar Odom.
Now layup missed by Odom and then one by Marion. That would have given the Suns an 18-point lead.
Odom has his first rebound. He'll try to convert at the other end. In against Diaw and gets it to drop.
See what they've done is they've just opened the floor up now and then just attacking with small players.
Kobe Bryant is 4 of 6 with 11. Barbosa snaps it out to Marion. Diaw against Cook. Bell for 3. Kobe is 4 of 6, 11 points. And the high score for Los Angeles, a wide open shot by Cook.
That's his game, and that's one of the areas that Phoenix was very concerned. He's come off the bench to have 6 points, so the lead now is cut to 12. Remember that layup that Marion missed would have made it 18.
Diaw. He is eating him alive.
Well, he's been so good over the last 3 games. That game 5 the other night, 25, 10, and 9, he was brilliant.
Doug, in the last 3 games, he's scoring more than 8 points than he was averaging. This is Kobe Bryant, who now has 14 for the game, knocking down a 3.
And quietly, they're back to 11. They're just wanting to hang around, get this thing under double digits.
There's a foul, and Brian Cook will pick it up for the Los Angeles Lakers. Phoenix led earlier by 19 points. As Nash readies to come back in the game.
Boris Diaw, the ability to put that ball on the floor. Nice little finish at the basket. The one thing that he's doing better as the season's going on, he's finishing with a lot more strength at the basket. That was a little flip shot, but he had the inside path. Look what he's done the last 3 games, almost 22 points. Close to 7 rebounds, almost 8 assists. Really gives them another ball handler out on the floor with Steve Nash. And Phil Jackson comes right back with Parker to guard Nash.
Parker taking the place of Vujacic. Steve Nash puts it down. Steve has started 4 of 5.
Well, the Lakers are really struggling on that screen roll. They do not know what to do. Do we switch it? Do we help?
That's a steal. Bell picking off the pass of Kobe Bryant. Barbosa. Diaw against Odom. And snaps it back to Nash for 3. Up with the rebound.
Now Parker got caught peeking in at the post, and Nash had a wide open shot.
Defensive 3-second. 6.5 to play in the half as you take a look at last year's NBA Coach of the Year Mike D'Antoni, who, by the way, will be part of the U.S. men's Olympic team, organized by Jerry Colangelo, one of the managing partners of the Phoenix Suns and a long-time force in NBA basketball. Here's Kobe Bryant, who tonight from the line has gone 2 of 3. An extension of that story. Mike Krzyzewski, the Duke head coach and the head coach of the U.S. Olympic team, is here with the man, the architect who's put things together, Jerry Colangelo, on the right side.
Yeah, they're out here to do some planning meetings for these upcoming summers. So Jerry Colangelo's gotten them together. Coach K's here. Nate McMillan is in town. Jimmy Boeheim, one of the assistants. Rudy Tomjanovich, who will be the scout on that team, all getting together to start planning for what they want to do this summer to get that team ready.
Kobe will be on that team. Sean Marion will be on that team. Amari Stoudemire, a member. 7 on the shot clock for Kobe Bryant. A long 3. Bell didn't contest it.
That's just amazing. What this guy can do, the depth and length that he shoots that basketball from. How about the shots he made the other night in the 4th quarter?
From all areas, every shape and size, Bryant knocked it in his 50-point performance. Nash to the double team Dion.
3 seconds.
Great rotation to Bell.
See, they're making the extra pass. The ball earlier in the season, or excuse me, in this series was sticking. They were just a little hesitation. Now no hesitation. They're swinging the ball to the open man.
But the Lakers were denying that pace. Oh, it looked like Bell got whacked and Kobe Bryant got caught. Bell holding his mouth, making sure all the parts are still there. Kobe picks up his first, and the battle continues. Bell coming off the game suspension. Moments ago, this. A big-time 3, but that was not the tussle that forces Bryant to gather his first foul and consternation on the part of Raja Bell.
I think this series has been good for him as far as people starting to pay attention to what he can do as a defensive player. I think he's a good defender. I don't want to understate or take away, his abilities as a defender. I can score on him anytime I want to, but I think we should just go out there and just play basketball. It's not a matter of me not liking the individual. It's about what do you do for your team, what I can do for my team.
A lot of people didn't know about Raja Bell until this series began. Moments ago, another elbow by Kobe up high in the chops of Bell. Was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands, went to high school in Miami, undrafted out of Florida International. His dad played football at Morehouse State. Raja began his odyssey in the CBA and the IBL. Stuck with Philadelphia, played in the finals in 2001 against Kobe and the Los Angeles Lakers. Has been in Dallas, Utah. Now he is with the Phoenix Suns.
Kwame Brown back into the game. I think Phil Jackson gave him a little bit of rest, tried to calm him down. Let's see if he's more effective this time out on the floorboard. What a nice pass by Bial. Tim Thomas on that baseline. Phoenix only 3 turnovers and have committed only 2 fouls.
So you've talked about how effective the front line of the Los Angeles Lakers needs to be. The starters, Odom, Walton, and Brown, a combined 4 of 14 from the field. Kobe over Bell. Lakers had hit their last 4 shots until that miss. Barbosa lost it. And Luke Walton back in with Brown and Parker, Vujicic, and Kobe Bryant.
I'd go back into Kwame Brown, give him a touch here, see if he's calmed down. They need him to score in the paint. You heard Charles Barkley talk about he thought he was the key guy today.
Kobe with a missed 3. Bryant is 6 of 10. Now they've got Kobe on Nash.
Got a mismatch over there. Tim Thomas is being played by Parker. He wants the ball.
Then Walton comes over sliding on defense to Nash. And Kobe was defending.
Just his size, Steve could not get the shot over his outstretched hand.
Kobe shooting 60% from the game tonight from the field.
That's a hook.
Parker. Foul called on Smush Parker. He picks up his second personal foul to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, you talked all along about the Raja Bell, Kobe Bryant matchup. it got a little more than just on the floor. When Bell was in Los Angeles during the suspension, he received harassing phone calls on his cell phone, has no idea how people got his number, but they did, and also had messages posted on his website that were of a threatening nature. But the Suns felt it was not serious enough to keep him at the team hotel. As we told you the other night, we watched Game 6 from a local restaurant in Los Angeles with Laker fans in attendance.
And also some NBA security people with him as well. They traveled with Bell to Los Angeles. The Suns' first foul right there of the quarter.
Well, I can tell you, when I played, I would not go to a restaurant where I've just been kicked out of a game for throwing down the other team's star player.
Well, how would you eat
break bread with the opponent on the road. I just sort of amazing that he would even do that. I would be isolated in my hotel somewhere.
Here's Kwame Brown at the free throw line. Log on to TNT Overtime Playoffs 06 on NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA. We'll hear from Kenny Charles and EJ and great analysts like Steve Kerr and our own Doug Collins. That's on NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA.
Kwame Brown was a 54% free throw shooter in the regular season. He's actually doing a pretty good job at the line during the playoffs, shooting at 67%. He stepped up and made 4 of 4 here today. Suns have to be very careful. They do not want to let this great first half slip away in the last 4 minutes.
It seems like the Lakers should be more behind than just 12.
That's why I'm saying that Suns have to be very, very careful.
Nash got a motive on him now. Kobe is watching Bell. Marion doubled, shot clock at 4, Nash for 3. Suns have led the entire way. Kobe Bryant smushed Parker. Another miss. He is 1 of 5 with 2 points in 16 minutes. But Jackson is sticking with him.
Another knock away by Parker on Steve Nash. That's about 3 times he's deflected the ball away from him tonight.
And Nash has 4 turnovers. It's Odom for 3.
That's not a good shot.
Nope.
Too much time on the clock, standing still, contested.
Lakers shooting threes with 3 of 12.
That's not a good shot either. No movement on that play at all.
Phoenix 3 of 8 above the arc.
Phil Jackson's going to take a timeout, or he's looking up this clock. 2:41 to go. They're within 12. He has to think they can maybe get this down to 6 or 8 going into halftime. He'd be a happy man, I can tell you that.
Kobe Bryant on the road in a Game 7. He's been here before. He is 2-0 in his career in Game 7s. Tonight, taking on the Phoenix Suns. The team, they're leading now 12 and 2:41 to play before halftime here in Game 7.
Well, how important is the pace for the Phoenix Suns? They got up to a great start tonight, 32-15, up 17. But look when they win. Almost 116 in this series, shoot 50%. Look at the three-point shooting. How about those free throws? Now, this is a team that attempted 18 free throws a game in the regular season. Look at the losses when they get slowed down and look at that free throw line. Kevin, what has happened here tonight is with the Los Angeles Lakers getting into a hole, they had to go with a small lineup. So points in the paint actually right now are +8 for the Suns, 26-18. The Lakers have taken 12 three-point shots to 8 for the Phoenix Suns, so they're launching threes and not going inside because they got so far behind.
Lakers have their starters on after that timeout. Only one bench player on the floor right now for the Phoenix Suns. That's Tim Thomas, taking the place of the starter Jones. And that's a whistle and a foul. And Steve Nash and Marion were down there, and the foul will go against Marion for the first time. Doug, both teams have missed their last 4 shots. No field goals either way in almost 3 minutes for the Suns and the Lakers.
Trust yourself, trust your teammate right now. Kobe's lighting it up, the rest of his team. 8 of 19, 0 of 7 from that three-point line.
18 is the game high, offered by Kobe Bryant so far. Parker to Bryant, covered by Bell. 1 on the shot clock, and he puts it in. Kobe puts in a 2. He's got 20.
He is so good. I mean, he wasn't even looking at the basket. He just turned and caught it, knew that the clock was winding down.
He's amazing. He's put in 15 points as Kobe Bryant in the second quarter. Diaw to Marion.
Diaw can take Kwame Brown off the dribble. When you do, it collapses your defense. Again, that back line steps up. The Suns have got about 4 or 5 baskets tonight on penetration drop-off for dunks.
And Marion's had one of his best first halves of this entire series with 8 points and 7 rebounds.
He's getting easy baskets.
It's Walton over Nash. The front line of the Lakers is staggering. It's a 3-on-2 with Nash to Marion. defended by Odom. Out of bounds, and the shot clock at 19 with a minute and a half to play in the half.
When the Suns got that ball across half court, there were still 3 Lakers in the back court.
4 of the 5 Lakers starters have been in double figures this series.
It's a big minute and 30 seconds for both teams. Can the Lakers hang in there? Can the Suns get a little more separation?
Thomas over Parker.
How good has he been? How good has he been? You look at his numbers. My goodness gracious. He shot the 3 coming into today. He was shooting 52% from 3.
21 points and 10 rebounds by Tim Thomas in Game 6 Thursday in the overtime Phoenix win in Los Angeles. Kobe again. And Nash gathers it in. 3-on-2, 4-on-2, Dion. Ooh, Nash went down hard. Nash is hurt.
You have to see what
right ankle. Walton picked up his first foul for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, the air has been taken out of this building right now because Steve Nash, they cannot lose him. Oh, he and Sean Marion just got tangled up. I don't know if he banged a knee. A lot of times, little knee to knee there, and you get a stinger. And if he can get through today, he'll be pretty sore tomorrow. Steve Nash trying to run it off. The last thing you want to do right now is sit down. He might be going into the locker room here to try to get some treatment. There's only 52 seconds. I'd take him right into the locker room. You see him going with the athletic trainer, Aaron Nelson. He's going to go in there and get treatment. And
Barbosa will take his place as Dion converts at the line. And it was a single-digit deficit for the Lakers moments ago, but now it's up to a 16-point Phoenix Suns lead. Parker 1 of 5, but he has scored 2 times by driving inside. So when it's not dropping from outside, he's going to manufacture something inside.
Remember, he got that 1 steal, that breakaway dunk.
Diao against Brown.
See, Kwami's backpedaling. You've got to meet the dribbler. You can't just keep backpedaling. You got to step up and meet him.
Kobe with 20. A 3 by Bryant. Kobe Bryant puts in another 3-point hit. 4 of 6 above the arc.
See, the Suns got a quick 2-for-1 possession when Diao went strong to the basket. So even though Kobe got that 3, they have a chance here to answer and get the last shot of the first half.
Shot clock is off. Here comes Barbosa, picked up by Parker. And Thomas to an open Diao and a screen by Barbosa.
Perfect execution. Perfect execution. 1 second to go. Could not have ended better for the Phoenix Suns that first half.
When the Phoenix Suns were down 3 games to 1, only 4% of the teams in the history of the NBA playoffs that have found themselves in that position have come back and won. So facing the improbable, the Suns have won 2 consecutive elimination games. They've tied the series. We're in Game 7, and the Suns, who closed that quarter 15-9, are running and looking at advancing. Unbelievable story. Let's go to David Aldridge.
Sean, you guys got off to another great start tonight with the home crowd. How'd you do it?
We just came out with energy, man, on both ends of the floor. And, you know, the crowd's behind us 100%, so we just go out here just playing hard.
Barbosa again giving you a big lift off the bench. If he has to play big minutes with Nash in the second half injured, what do you expect?
Well, I think he's going to bring it. We got the momentum going right now. We just got to keep tempo up the game and just keep playing our game and we'll be fine.
Kobe got 23, 24 in the first half. Can you live with that?
Yeah, we can live with that, definitely. We up by 15. Okay.
All right, John. Congratulations. Well, let's go to our Atlanta studios and Ernie Johnson. EJ?
All right, thank you, DA. We welcome you to the T-Mobile halftime report. Decisive Game 7 in the first round, the only Game 7 of the opening round, 60-45. The Suns with a 15-point advantage over the Lakers. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Everything going the Suns' way in the first half, with the exception of what happened there late in the half when Steve Nash came down and then came back up gimpy and then left for the locker room before time ran out. A little collision there with the Matrix, Sean Marion. Go, 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 go. And so we will see, and obviously we'll get a report from David Aldridge during the half as to the condition of Steve Nash, who leaves under his own power, as they like to say. But what are your thoughts, Charles, on the first half? A 15-point game for the Suns.
This game is over. I told you that before the game. Suns going to run them out the building. Once they got their tempo, you see the games have gotten gradually worse. Even when the Lakers are playing well, once Phoenix want to play like this, they're on pace for 120 points, and the Lakers cannot beat them. The only way the Lakers can beat them is slow it down and pound them. But I think the reason this game is over, when you're down 15 points, you can't play slow. You can't. So the game is going to be played at Suns' tempo for the rest of the night, no matter what.
Now, this plays right into the hands of Kenny, whose pictures have to do with what the Lakers must do to get back in the game. First, I'm assuming, are you buying what Charles is selling here, that this game is over?
No, I'm not buying it, because when you play against an up-tempo team, they will let you back in the game. And because they are playing at an up-tempo pace. But the things that you have to get is you have to get easy shots, and you have to let Kobe Bryant be the great scorer that he is. And the one thing, off the double team, he has to give the ball up. And when he does give the ball up, you have guys like Cook and Lamar Odom and Vujacic that can really knock down shots. And then he can be what he is an arsenal of an array of different kind of shots and selections and all kinds of moves. But the one thing I always said too, Chuck, and this is what I was thinking about you said, yes, every now and then I think about, not about you, but the broken clock is right twice a day. Well, this is one of these 2 times. And if you think about all of the, there you go. You think about all of the guys on the Lakers. For 7 games, I think you're asking them to be a scorer and put pressure on them, Kwame Brown and Lamar, to be scorers inside, something that they're not accustomed to doing throughout the regular season. So I don't know if they could do it for 7 games. I think there's going to be games where Kobe has to be Kobe and get 45 or 50. Yeah, because if you're a 10-point scorer, I don't think you can all of a sudden be a 20-point scorer. I know that sounds good in theory, but common sense tell you, if this guy averaged 45 points a game against the Lakers, the Suns during the regular season, they lost every game.
But look at these shots that Kwame's getting.
Well, he got to make these shots.
But that's my point. He's not accustomed to being a scorer.
But I'm saying the reason is the Suns have a weakness that's inside, but it's just about tempo. That's all this.
But if he makes those shots, the tempo is
they'd only
where
be down 12. But they can't beat the Suns if the Suns are playing at their pace. It's all about tempo. He can make shots, he can miss shots. But in Game 5, when the Suns got that tempo going, they have not slowed down, and they cannot beat the Suns if they play at the Suns' pace, plain and simple. And they're gonna get ran out this building tonight.
Kobe Bryant leads everybody with 23.
The Lakers are going to make a run, but it don't matter because they're going to have to play at Phoenix's pace, and that's what Phoenix want to do.
That's why they play the game. We'll see.
Leandro Barbosa has 15 to lead Phoenix, not to be confused with Barbaro, the winner of the Kentucky Derby. When we come back,
I bet on Barbaro today.
Damon Jones, always good for a soundbite.
I bet on Barbaro today.
Welcome to the T-Mobile.
Who have trailed by as many as 19, trail at halftime by 15. With Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, 95% of America thinks this game is over. Are you in the other 5%?
This game is far from being over. Kevin, what LA has to hope for is a quick start so they can get back to going inside. Charles made a great point at halftime. When you're behind, it's tough to go inside and slow the game down when you're down by 15 or 16 points. So if they can get themselves back in the game, then they don't have to go small ball and try to match the Lakers. They actually took 14 threes in the first half. The Suns only took 8. So they played out of the way they wanted to play after the first 4 games of this series.
About 60% shooting for the Phoenix Suns to the 40% shooting of the Los Angeles Lakers as we take a look at our Chrysler game summary. +9 in fast break points for the Phoenix Suns. But there was a big scare involving the Phoenix Suns and their focus, Steve Nash, late in the first half. He went in and collided, and Doug Collins moments ago asked Steve, was it a knee, was it a thigh, was it an ankle? And Steve said it was an ankle. And for more on that story, let's go to our David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Steve Nash sprained his ankle with 51.9 seconds left in the half. Athletic trainer Aaron Nelson tells me they spent most of the half doing stretching exercises. They gave him a little bit of treatment. Stretching exercises designed to enhance the stability of the ankle. He says that it's fine. I asked Steve Nash how he felt. He said, we'll see, guys.
That's how playoff series change in a blink of an eye. You get your key player hurt, If he slows down at all, now you take away all that penetration, all those fast breaks, all the things he does. 15-point lead, 24 minutes to go. You've got Kobe Bryant over there who's had a brilliant first half. But Kevin, the front line, starting front line of the Los Angeles Lakers, Odom, Walton, and Kwame Brown, 4 of 16. And when they weren't delivering, Phil had to go to a small team, and Kobe kept them in the game somewhat here right now. He has to hope that his teammates can come out and be much better in the second half.
Do we still look, Doug, for the Los Angeles Lakers shot discipline, or do you think more of an emphasis on Kobe and he'll play more like he did on Thursday in Los Angeles in Game 6?
I think they're going to go back inside to see if the big guys can make it work. And if they can't get it going, then Phil Jackson does not have time to waste. He's going to have to get guys out there on the floor that are performing.
The 7th and decisive game of this series, which the Lakers at one time led 3 games to 1. At that point, there was a 96% chance, and here's a Nash 3, rebounded by Walton. There was a 96% chance the Lakers would go on and win. But facing elimination, the Phoenix Suns have won 2 straight elimination games, which brings us to the 7th and decisive game of the series.
When a guy hurts his ankle, the first thing to look for is what kind of lift he has in his shot. He was very short on that shot attempt.
Shot clock is at 5. Here is Swish Parker, who has scored inside tonight, but even inside, a little jumper, he can't do anything there.
I think Boris Diaw might have to even be more of a primary ball handler here in this second half. Sean Merritt with a little flip shot, and he gets it to go. But Diaw has the capability of helping Nash handle the basketball.
Nash just set the screen for Diaw on that shot. And for Marion, who puts it down. Now Sean Marion has 10 points and 7 rebounds. He's coming off a 20 and 10 performance the other night. Odom. And Kobe, who has hit 4 threes. Parker, the rotation to Walton. That's a 3 by Walton. That is the first 3 points he has scored in the second half in 3 games. It's a Bell 3 at the other end.
Right back at you. Lakers can't exchange field goals. They've got to start getting some stops. Kwame Brown's got to go to work. Another point-blank shot that he missed. Another tip in.
Kwame Brown, whose shooting percentage has been very high, is only 1 of 8 tonight. Last time he played on this floor, he was 6 of 6. James Jones fouled by Brown.
I'm going to give him 2
second
shots.
on Kwame. Yep.
That's a smart play by James Jones. See, the Lakers' big men are getting switched a lot. And you're asking Kwame Brown to step out on the floor and play these quicker defenders. And he's a shot blocker. He wants to go. See what he raises up. So you can't do that when you're out on the perimeter, because now they're going to take the ball past you. So you have to have great discipline. It looks like Kwame Brown might be coming out of the game. It looks like Ronny Turiaf might be coming in. I think Phil Jackson's looking for anything to give his team a lift. Remember now, the other night he had 8 points in 9 minutes and was a live wire off that bench in Game 2 when they won in here.
It looked like Brown and Jackson just exchanged words over on the sideline. It was interesting. When the Los Angeles Lakers were up 3 games to 1, then began to lose 1 game after another, which brings us to this 3-3 7th game. Luke Walton said, we got mentally weak after we had that 3 games to 1 lead. And Doug, we sensed that too when they won here, Phoenix, on Tuesday in Game 5.
See, the triangle is very much of a rhythm offense.
Walton inside, Odom can't tip it. Turiaf with energy inside.
That's what he brings. Second shots, but the Suns are going to run the ball right back at you. You've got to get back in transition.
It's Bell. Oh, and there's a foul on Turiaf, and a hard one at that as Diaw crumbles to the floor. Turiaf picks up his first. 9.5 to play here in the third.
He said he would. Well, guys, you know, Ronny Turiaf and Boris Diaw are best friends. And, Doug, you talked about fraternization earlier. These guys have had dinner almost every night during this series. Turiaf said he would have no problem giving a hard foul to his best friend Diaw if he had to. He said, hey, look, he plays for the Suns and I play for the Lakers, and we're going to try to win this thing, guys.
Nash to Diaw with Walton defending.
They got the switch again. They had a smaller player. I'm shocked that the Lakers are continuing to play defense like that on that screen roll. That lead is pushed back to 19. And Kevin, this is a rhythm offense, so this If they're going to use clock, they're not going to get shots up quickly at the basket.
They have no inside game. Speaking of the Lakers, Walton can't hit right there. You mentioned before the front line and their dismal shooting percentage tonight. It is absolutely destroying L.A. Bell.
It's going to be a basket. Somebody grabbed the rim when it was up on the cylinder. Everything going the Phoenix Suns' way right now. This is a very young Los Angeles Laker team that's on the floor. Walton, Turioff, Smush, Parker. Watch now is looks like, is it Turioff that grabs the cylinder? Grabbed the cylinder, the rim was shaking, so he got the 2 points.
It affected the shot, and that's why it was. It affected the shot, and that's why it counts.
Washington would like to see that call last night on Gilbert Arenas' drive.
Because it looked like Parajan did make that rim move. Walton, Parker for 3. Follow with a nice flash inside, and Parker is 3 of 10.
Mike D'Antoni very upset. He got Smush Parker to miss a shot, but nobody rebounded the ball. Everybody from the Suns running out to get on the fast break.
Alley-oop from Marion. Diaw with the pass, and back to Boris. Knocked away by Parker. He thought he had all ball, and he picks up a foul from Steve Javi. Unless they change it now, he and Joe Forte, a former ACC official over there, talking with Javi. His dad was a long-time NFL official. There's Forte.
He's going to call, I think, maybe an inadvertent whistle.
Javi.
He's going to call inadvertent whistle and call a jump ball here.
His dad officiated 4 Super Bowls. And Javi said, hey, my mistake.
And Mike D'Antoni said, I don't want to hear about that right now. Sean Marion, I thought, should be shooting 2 free throws. So what happens is, inadvertent whistle, nobody has possession, so you jump it up. And see, anybody can jump. So now you might lose possession here because you have Odom jumping against Sean Marion. Let's see if he can get up the quickest. Normally Marion very quick off his feet in this situation.
Phoenix trying to become the 8th team in NBA history to win a series after being down 3 games to 1. Looking for their 3rd straight win after the Lakers have won 3 straight and the Phoenix Suns took game 1 in the series.
You know what I love about NBA players? They didn't grow up with jump balls like my generation. They don't know where to get 2 guys together. They grew up with alternating possession in college, so they don't ever get jump balls.
Turioff is on Nash. This is Diaw against Walton. Foul goes on Odom, who picks up his 2nd for the Los Angeles Lakers. Diaw, who is from France, will be at the line. People wonder where a guy like Diaw at 6'9", got his great passing skills. If he was growing up in France, he had older brothers. And the only way they would let the younger Boris play with the older kids is if he passed the ball and never shoot. And he says, that's where I honed my passing game, on the playgrounds of France. And thus it has continued. He was one of the few players in the NBA this year that averaged over 6 rebounds and over 6 assists a game.
Kobe Bryant has not taken a shot yet. Well, I should say Kobe Bryant just took his first shot of this 3rd period, played almost 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
And the Lakers, Doug, have started the quarter 3 of 12 from the field.
Mike D'Antoni is looking up at that clock and just wants it to keep moving. When you're in the lead like this, you don't want that clock to stop.
Can't move fast enough.
Cannot move quickly enough.
Over the pass. Nash, Diaw, Nash.
Steve overpassing there. He should have taken that shot. That's 5 turnovers, and he looks like he's limping a little bit on that right ankle.
Came down funny, Doug, when he left in the air at the other end of the floor.
Diaw's got to recognize now Turioff's not going to shoot jump shots. He can get back in the lane and help against Luke Walton on the boards.
Look at the hustle of Turioff, who volleyballs it back to Bryant, the NBA's scoring champion this past season. Bryant's got 23.
Kobe looks very content right now just to play within the flow of the offense. When is he going to get into that mentality of like, we're going down, we're down 21. I'm going to have to start firing like he did in the first half because right now his teammates are not producing.
Turnovers have not been the big story in this game as they have been the previous 6.
Well, they're taking better care of the basketball, but their shooting has been atrocious.
36% for L.A. And on the flip side, the Suns 62% for the game. Sean Marion diving inside. Odom with the rebound, and he collects only his third of the game. He's been averaging in double figures in rebounding this series. Walton for three. Rebound by Dion.
I think the Suns will live with that all day. Luke Walton out shooting three-point shots.
Dion with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Nash with the miss. What do you think about that knee and that ankle?
The shot's a little flat. That's the first place I always look with guys with their legs. When their legs aren't right, you always see it in the shot.
That's defensive three. You know, it's interesting. A lot of coaches in Phil Jackson's position right now would probably be calling more frequent timeouts, but he's notorious for letting his team work through troubles and not calling a timeout.
Well, I think he's hoping that somehow they can find some kind of rhythm. Kobe Bryant steps up and makes the technical free throw. Now you've got Devin George coming in for Luke Walton, so you're back to small ball for the Lakers again. Devin George, one of the few guys in this series for the Lakers who's shooting the ball well from the three-point line. He's 9 of 19 and hit 3 big threes in both Game 4 and Game 6 the other night to help the Lakers make those pushes.
Parker for 3. Finally, he gets one to drop, and that is a breakthrough for the LA offense. But the front line of the Lakers has been atrocious. 2 of 9 Odom, 2 of 9 Walton, 1 of 8 Kwame Brown. Nash with 9.
That switch once again.
Look at the pass to Jones for 3.
See, you have to double team. They're switching the screen roll, throwing it into Diaw, double teaming, and somebody gets a 3. That's a big 3 because Smush Parker had come down and hit. Now you match it and you push that lead right back to 20 once again. When is Kobe going to start becoming aggressive?
You would think any moment.
He's looking over at the bench right now. I can only imagine what's going on in that competitive heart of his right now. He sees his team down 20. He's got to be so frustrated. The guys that have helped him so much in this series aren't here today for him.
He needs the green light. We've got a timeout.
They've actually attempted 19 threes today. The Suns 12. So they're playing out of their comfort level shooting threes right now. They normally shoot 19 for a game. They have 19 already here with 5:20 to go in the third period.
Kwame Brown has come in for Turioff. Devin George has come in, the 2 substitutions for the Los Angeles Lakers. Marion from Nash, wide open.
No weak side help. How many times have we seen that today? Poor weak side rotation by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Phoenix Sun lead has been in double digits in 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Their big lead has climbed as high as 22 points. Odom, only 2 of 9.
Barbosa's back in the game with his speed, as is Tim Thomas. Those guys were 9 for 11 in the first half for 23 points.
That's a foul, and it's called on Raja Bell. The Suns only the 5th foul of the entire game, and Raja's got 2.
Look at the weak side. Devin George is hugging his man over at the three-point line. You're 2 passes away from the ball. You've got to be back in the lane.
Bryant screened by Brown on Bell. There's a missed 3-point shot. Doug, that's a foul, and it's inside on Lamar Odom. That was the 20th 3-point hoist in this game by the Los Angeles Lakers. That seems high.
Mike D'Antoni would love to have a 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter. These next 4:30, the Lakers got to make a push, and the Suns got to stay firm and maybe even make a move. You want to totally dispirit his team and take them where the fourth quarter there can be no heroics from Kobe Bryant. You got to remove heroics from the equation today.
The Suns a perfect 11 of 11 tonight from the free throw line. There's Sean Marion, a 3-time All-Star, the highest paid Phoenix player. He was a U.S. Olympian in 04. He will be again in 08.
See Phil Jackson call the open set. That's when Odom comes down from the top and just plays one-on-one. This is the old Scottie Pippen play in Chicago. Just going to let him tack off the dribble.
It's Odom. That's a foul called on the Phoenix Suns. The Suns on a 7-0 run right now. Look like Tim Thomas, and it was Thomas who picked up the foul. The second assessed Thomas.
His second 17th foul on
And Lamar Odom at the line. This is his second career Game 7. He played a Game 7 with the Miami Heat before arriving in Los Angeles.
Shooting under 70%, 65% actually at the free throw line in this series.
First trip tonight. Nails it. Tomorrow on ABC, it's Dallas and San Antonio, and Cleveland and Detroit. Both of those are Game 1s. Friday on ESPN, it's Miami, New Jersey. Phoenix Clipper or Laker Clipper game on ESPN Friday.
Check the matchups now. George is on Barbosa. Kobe Bryant on Bell. Kwame Brown on Tim Thomas with tough matchup because you take Kwame out of the paint, and if he helps, you get a 3 from Thomas.
This is Barbosa picked up by Brown. Thomas going by George and over Brown. Off of Phoenix.
Tim Thomas thought he was grabbed as he tried to go past Kwame Brown on that drive. Going to go right back to that open set once again and let Odom just attack and try to get to the free throw line. If I'm Steve Nash, I get right back in there and make him throw the ball to Schmutz Parker.
Odom spoon feeds Brown. Only his second basket tonight. In 20 minutes, he's got 8 points.
He really looks for Kwame in there. He feels very confident looking for him to try to get him involved.
They've got to get him involved.
Those point-blank shots, he's got to make those. There's a switch once again. Barbosa should just take the ball past Kwame Brown right here. He can't guard him.
Over Brown by Barbosa. What a shot. What a shot.
I mean, that was good defense actually by Kwame. It's just a better shot. You and I had a great angle here. He had his hand in his face. What a lift by Barbosa today off the bench. That's his 17th point on 7 shots.
17 and 16 minutes for Leandro Barbosa. Parker. And a 3 by Devin George. The 21st 3-point attempt by the Lakers. They've only hit 6. Here's Bell for 3.
Welcome back, Raja.
The Phoenix Suns in the regular season were the #1 scoring team, the #1 free throw percentage team, and the #1 3-point shooting team in the NBA. And tonight, above the arc, 6 of 13 for the Suns.
See, Steve Nash is just roaming right now. Just roaming. Kwame Brown short-armed that shot. Nash is really limping.
Barbosa at the other end, and he can't snare the Nash pass.
Steve is really limping on that ankle right now.
And for tonight in the city, presented by Dodge, our all-new 2000 team. The Phoenix Suns enjoying their biggest lead right now. One of the reasons why, Doug, is the bench. Tonight, the bench 10 of 14 for Phoenix from the field.
Yeah, that's Barbosa and Tim Thomas. Those guys combined for 25 points. They have been terrific. That's the difference in the game right now. And Phoenix this year would get 30 points off their bench. They struggled early. Tonight, that has not been the case. Lakers back to a small lineup. Brian Cook is in for Kwame Brown. They're going to spread the floor and start trying to shoot the basketball.
And Vujacic is coming as well. Odom picked up by Sean Marion against Bryant. Vujacic breaks up the pass.
Now careless turnover that time.
It's a 3 by Vujacic. Rebound by Odom.
Mike D'Antoni does not want his team to get sloppy. Steve Nash is out of the game. Finish this quarter strong.
Barbosa's got 17. Right down the lane.
Guess who?
19 points for Leandro Barbosa. Off the bench, leading the Phoenix Suns tonight.
Kobe Bryant has taken 2 shots this quarter, both of them 3s.
When's he going to flip on the switch?
Better be quickly.
Devin George.
4 for 23 are the Lakers from the 3-point line. That is not their game.
They're averaging 19 tries a game in the regular season. Thomas missing a 3. Cook grabs the rebound.
That's the Suns game, though. Quick shots, get it up and down the floor.
Kobe is 8 of 15 with 24 points. Cook.
Nice job running him off that 3-point line, though. Make him put the ball on the floor.
Los Angeles Lakers are shooting 33% from the field.
Better get it across. It's going to be a violation here.
Just got by.
Close. That 8 seconds goes quickly. Vujacic all over Barbosa.
George picks up a foul. Count it!
What a tough matchup. I tell you, Boris Diaw, I have really grown to love this young guy. I love guys who know how to play. He's a basketball player. Put it on the floor. Here's the whistle. Continuation off the glass. This is great. This is a young guy growing up in the heat of the playoffs. When they needed him the most, he was at his best.
He was a throw-in a trade this past summer with the Atlanta Hawks. He came here listed as a guard. When injuries to bigger players came cropping up for the Suns, he started playing center and power forward. Boris Diaw has guarded everybody from the 7'6" Yao Ming to point guard. Vujacic for three, and he puts it in.
Kobe's not even looking for a shot right now, just looking for these other guys to shoot the ball.
Is it a part of him saying, well, I told you I've got to win it by myself? Well, what is it?
It's like, I'm going to trust my teammates here.
Marion. Well, we're either going to see Kobe go like crazy in the fourth, or the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be a part of playoff history, leading a series 3-1 and losing. Right now, they're losing big in Phoenix in Game 7 over Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, it's interesting. When Dallas was playing at the Lakers in 2002, the Lakers trailed by 27 after 3 quarters. Kobe switched over, guarded Nash. He had 21 in the quarter. They went on to win that game 105-103. It's going to take all those kind of heroics and more today right now. You've got Vujacic on the floor with Cook, Smush Parker, and Kobe Bryant along with Devin George. Will Kobe try to go to work here now and try to shoot his team back into this game?
Shot clock is down to 7. Cook pounded by Barbosa and by Thomas.
What a tough shot by Brian Cook. Usually a guy not known that much with his back to the basket. At Illinois, he was a guy that stayed on the perimeter most of the time and shot jump shots. You're Mike D'Antoni. You do not want turnovers. You want to get good shots at the basket and continue to run your offense. Do not get sloppy.
You got a lead like this. How hard is it to keep this lead?
Steve Nash, you can see, he's just not himself right now. Tried to get in the lane there. Smush Parker knocked that ball loose from him once again.
Keeping up the intensity and the focus. Cook. The home team in Game 7s wins 82% of the time. It happened twice last season. Detroit at Miami and Indiana in Boston against the Celtics. Easy.
It was like he was in first gear going down the lane. Nobody around to help. Everybody's so afraid of those three-point shots right now. Nobody will help.
It's Cook for 3.
That's his game right there. That's the game, that little catch and quick shoot.
Thomas for 3. Vujacic.
See, most coaches would say, man, I don't like that shot. Nobody under the basket to rebound. Mike D'Antoni doesn't blink. That's our game. We're going to keep shooting. We're up 25. We're going to keep firing.
Parker is 4 of 11. That is a foul on Steve Nash of the Phoenix Suns.
So now you have to start to worry a little bit with Steve Nash as he goes down the lane here. Watch this little crossover, cross him over. Where's the help? Nobody looking. Vujacic has his back turned. Nobody helping, and then he takes he thought it was a charge here on Smush Park. He called a block, but if you're Mike D'Antoni, that was Kobe Bryant running over Raja Bell. But Kevin, my point here is now with Steve Nash. The series with the Clippers starts Monday. At what point in time do you feel this game is in such a situation that maybe you can get him out and start getting him treatment? Because Monday will be here quickly if they go on to win this game.
Out of bounds, off the knee of Barbosa. What would you do?
Well, I know what I would do. I would say, guys, let's not turn the ball over. Let's get some defensive stops, and then let's get this game over with.
Get Nash out.
Kobe threw that ball off the backboard. Loose ball foul on Kobe. He threw that ball off the board to himself and threw Raja Bell out of the way to get the offensive rebound. Watch this now. He goes up, and then he just pushes over Raja Bell to get the offensive rebound.
Thomas.
Now Phil Jackson's going to take a timeout. We talked to him before the game, and I said, Phil, how do you feel? He said, I feel good about this game today. I don't think in his wildest dreams he thought it would be like this today.
Listen, I don't care if you want to sell yourself for less.
And all game long, it has been Leandro Barbosa. Off the bench, Barbosa has gone 7 of 8. He was tied for Phoenix high scoring honors at 19. And Doug, in Game 6 in Los Angeles Thursday, a game that was won by Phoenix in overtime. A game where their best defender, Raja Bell, was suspended and out of the game. They called upon Barbosa, who answered beautifully, and he was probably the hero of that big, important Game 6 win for Phoenix.
Well, I think when you look at this series, the series really turned in front of the favor of these Suns when Diaw started playing great, and then you got Barbosa in the mix, because those two guys are so valuable. And let's not forget Tim Thomas, who has been fantastic the entire series. This has been an incredible team effort. About 9 minutes and 32 seconds to go to try to finish this thing off and move on to the next round.
Tim Thomas just picked up his 3rd personal foul for the Phoenix Suns. Walton is back in, finds Odom around Diaw. Kobe Bryant took 35 field goal attempts on Thursday, and tonight he has taken 16.
Steve Nash is not right now. He's really struggling with that ball. Really keep your eye on him if you're Mike D'Antoni.
It's Thomas against Cook.
How about Tim Thomas? He is making himself a lot of cash right now. He's a free agent, and someone's looking at him, 6'10", put it on the floor, shoot the 3, and more importantly, he's playing under pressure and playing well. Kobe's taken 3 shots this entire half. He has not gotten a field goal. I'm telling you, Mike D'Antoni's got to be sitting over and say, look, I'll live with those 2-point field goals right now. Wind that clock, come down, execute our offense.
Screen by Diaw on Walton. Odom is on now.
That switch once again. Diaw's got him down on the post, fades away, takes a tough shot.
And Vujicic will take it the other way. From Slovenia. He and Bryant are very close friends. Kobe and Vujicic are. Who's looked for 3. Offensive rebound by Vujicic, who began the series lights out shooting 3s. At one time he was 8 of 11 shooting the 3 ball, but Doug, Vujicic has disappeared the last 3 games.
Yes, he has, and you know, he's a young player. I mean, he's a young guy that's growing. It's a big experience for him. Kevin, I'm shocked that Kobe's not looking to shoot the basketball. Raja Bell checking out right now.
It's a huge story when they need him the most, and he can do it, as we have seen countless times. It's not been a part of his repertoire tonight. Marion kicks it outside, took a shot to the head, and a foul called. It's on the Los Angeles Lakers, and Kobe has just been tagged with his 4th. And David, what do you have?
Well, guys, you got to remember, I think a lot of people don't know the story of Leandro Barbosa. This was the guy who was supposed to be the Suns' point guard of the future when they traded Stephon Marbury 3 years ago. But he had injuries throughout that year, and when Mike D'Antoni came in, they signed Steve Nash. And Mike D'Antoni said something to me earlier this year that I rarely have ever heard a coach say. He said, this was my fault. I tried to make Leandro Barbosa a backup point guard to Steve Nash, when really he's a scoring 2 guard. So all season they've made him a scorer, and you've seen in this series, that's what he does, and that's his best benefit to this team, guys.
It's called knowing your personnel, David. Here's Marion with a long 3, can't quite get it to go, but that's what coaches do. Good coaches find out what their players' strengths are, and then they play to those strengths.
Kobe's only point this half came on a free throw following a defensive 3-second violation. Odom.
See, Vujicic up the floor, making Nash work 94 feet to bring that ball up the floor. Here's Barbosa letting it go. He's got that baby on cruise control. This is the Leandro Barbosa show. Game 6 was terrific. Game 7 has been better. 22 points on 9 shots.
22 ties his career high in the playoffs. Ronny Turiaf. Way to Gonzaga, picked up by Steve Nash. Look at Barbosa. So easy the game is for him tonight.
Mike D'Antoni, you think he thought this morning when we were in his office, we have a 26-point lead here with 6-something to go in the game, and Kobe Bryant would have only taken 3 shots in the second half and only 1 point on a technical foul off an illegal defense?
Turiaf picks up his second personal foul. And this is almost inexplicable, Doug. I mean, you've got to start wondering now why he is not taking the shots. Remember, he has been not heavily criticized, but certainly it has been a topic in the Los Angeles media. Did he take too many shots in Game 6? And I wonder if he took offense to that.
Well, you know, his teammates, weren't delivering the other night. Had he not taken those shots, they wouldn't have had any chance to win. There's Nash. If I'm Mike D'Antoni, Steve, you just hit your last shot, go ice your ankle, and get ready to see Sam Cassell.
What a battle that will be. Vujacic. Thomas the rebound.
See Nash chase him off the three-point line inside that too.
Marion tonight with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Nash has 13 points and 8 assists. There's his 9th assist.
Phil Jackson, what's he feeling right now? Where they've never been in this situation like this in a Game 7. Has never lost a playoff series when he had the lead in the series, 44-0, and has never been beaten in the first round. Talking to him before the game, though, he talked about the growth of the organization and the young guys and what they're doing and what this has meant to them. And hopefully that the Andrew Bynums and the Kwame Browns and the Ronny Turiaf, all these young guys will continue to develop on that front line so they can take a step up next year in the Western Conference.
Ryan Turiaf and a foul inside on the Phoenix Suns. What's going through Phil Jackson's mind right now? His star players only taking a couple of shots in the second half. He is getting roundly defeated in this Game 7. And he is hovering over his first round loss as a head coach in the NBA. It's been like a desert in terms of scoring tonight for Los Angeles. The Suns are looking to advance in Game 7.
Well, we said they wanted it faster and as fast as it can get, 110 points. How about rebounds and points in the paint? They were +8 in the paint, 22 assists, only 10 turnovers. And Steve Nash and his team, the Stars, shine tonight. 7 Suns with at least 10-plus points. But to me, the difference maker was Leandro Barbosa. He came off the bench, he and Tim Thomas, for 36 points. And when they give them that kind of lift, they are some kind of team to watch.
And on the Lakers side, the story will be Kobe Bryant's 3 field goal attempts, only 3 in the second half, and a front line which the Lakers had ridden very hard in the first 4 games to a 3-1 lead. Tonight, in a Game 7, only 13 of 37, the combination of Odom, Walton, and Kwame Brown.
It's going to be fun, Kevin. The next round against the Clippers, I'm such a big Elton Brand guy. I just think the guy stands for all the right things. He's in the semifinals here coming up. You've got Cassell and Mobley, a couple veteran guards. Corey Maggette coming off the bench. Sean Livingston, who people have not seen this young kid play. He is a spectacular athlete. Great point guard, young kid. And this should be a lot of fun this next series.
Andrew Bynum is in the game for the first time, the talented rookie, the youngest player in the NBA. Turiaf trying to slam it. Burke, who's just come off the bench, tries to corral it and does. Pat Burke, who is from Ireland. Here's Eddie House. Wrapping up the line, there's Skidishvili, who was in for the first time in this game as well. They acquired him in a trade mid-season. Burke for 3. Oh, my God.
Oh, my. It's going for everybody. Pat Burke about 4 feet behind the three-point line.
There's no Blarney in that Irishman. The only Irishman playing in the NBA. The Lakers finished the regular season 11 wins better than last year as Barbosa picks it up and sails in. So, Doug, the Lakers have a lot of things to build on for last year into next season, and that is what they hang their head on. Plus, they've got Kobe Bryant. Burke with the rebound.
Well, I think their young front line is going to be key to how much better they can continue to get.
Oh, my gosh. That's Eddie House has put down a couple threes since coming in the game late in the game.
Kevin, you know what? I want to just tell you something. That game that they lost in L.A. when they went down 3-1, devastating emotional loss. They had the game won twice, lost to go down 3-1. The last 3 games has showed an incredible amount of character with this team. There was no quit in this team. They fought through adversity. But Steve Nash stepping up after making the 2 errors and just said, guys, I've got to be better. Everybody rallied. Raja Bell gets suspended. Barbosa comes. I mean, the storyline, Tim Thomas, the big 3, descended into overtime. They win in overtime. It has been an incredible turnaround after an emotionally devastating Game 4 loss.
The Phoenix Suns never trailed. They held a double-digit lead for the final 30 minutes of the game. Their biggest lead climbed as high as 33. The previous worst loss in a Game 7 for the Los Angeles Lakers. You got it all the way back to the 1970 NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. Kobe Bryant was taken out a couple minutes ago. Vujacic at the line. An inexplicable second half in game, really. 43 minutes, 16 tries, 24 points. I don't know if he's sick or injured or what, but that will be something for papers and television people to find out after the game. But right now, it is all about the Phoenix Suns. They've come back from a 3-1 deficit and beaten the Lakers in the first round. Phoenix Suns become the 8th team in NBA history to win a series after being down 3 games to 1. Let's check out tonight's closer of the game presented by TNT's The Closer. How about Leandro Barbosa off the bench? 26 points in 31 minutes. And he had more than Kobe tonight. Isn't that something? Let's go to David Aldridge.
Steve, you're down 3-1. Your coach said it's the toughest loss he had in 46 years. You said, I can't believe how we lost this game. How did you come off the deck and win 3 straight?
Well, I think we realized we were really close, to being up in the series. And we hadn't got any breaks, and we hadn't played that well. So we thought if we started to play better, and we saw glimpses of that in Game 4, and we had a good attitude, we started to get some breaks.
Leandro Barbosa comes in for Raja Bell in Game 6, has a great game, has an even better game tonight. Where did this kid come from?
Well, he's a great player. He's got a chance to be really good, and we're lucky to have him as a teammate. He's a great compliment. He plays a little bit bigger than his size, so he can guard bigger guys, and he's really difficult for bigger guys to defend. So, he's a terrific player for us, and he's just going to get better.
You guys were down as down can be a week ago. Now you're up as up can be. How do you get ready for a game in 48 hours?
Well, we just got to get as much rest as possible and, just start preparing, do the best we can, We don't have a week. We don't have 3 or 4 days. We just got to do the best we can in the next, day and a half to get ready.
How do you, in the next day and a half, get your ankle ready?
Well, hopefully just with as much treatment as possible and rest, I'll be fine.
You'll be ready Monday night?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Nash. The Suns win 4-3. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you very much. This is the way the West looks right now. San Antonio and Dallas will begin it Sunday on ABC. Doug and I will have the Clippers and Phoenix Game 1 Monday here in Phoenix. Our producer tonight, Scott Cockrell. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Special thanks to Rich Shapiro, Joe Stevens, Dennis Stone, Pat Thornton, Russ Lathrop, and David Frazier. Final again. Phoenix Suns 121-90 over the Los Angeles Lakers. Doug Collins and David Aldridge and the rest of our crew. Kevin Harlan saying goodnight from Phoenix, Arizona. Now we take you to our TNT Arena in Atlanta with Ernie Johnson.
The Suns 121-90. We go live to Mike D'Antoni's post-game press conference.
How fast he was. I mean, he was going so fast, I don't think he could catch his breath. I mean, he was gone. And kind of set the tone. And I just can't say enough about how they fought back and the perseverance. You know, we've gone through it all, just the 6th game. And this one, just to top it off, is just really proud of me.
Mike, how did this, in your mind, as you look back now, where did the series turn for you and what turned it around for you?
Yeah, I don't think there's one thing. I just think it's the heart and perseverance of our guys just to overcome Game 4. Thinking that, you know, we've been slighted and thinking that, you know what, we tried to do the right thing and we kept getting hit and they just had enough. That was it. Whether they turned it on or thought about it consciously, I don't know. But from that moment, we played the way we played all year.
And with that, we welcome you to Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. A 31-point victory in a decisive Game 7 for the Suns. How did that happen, Charles?
Well, it started in Game 5 when they got the tempo of the game, and they sped up and blew the Lakers out. And, you know, people said in Game 6, they came out like gangbusters. So what happened then, the Lakers came back, but the tempo of the whole series was sped up after Game 5. And if you try to run with the Phoenix Suns, you're going to lose. And there was no doubt in my mind, as I said, they're going to beat these boys like a drum tonight. Because if you try to run with them, you got no chance.
7 Suns in double figures led by Leandro Barbosa with 26 on 10 of 12 shooting. Meantime, on the Lakers side, Kobe Bryant had 24. We'll talk about him in a second. But what about Barbosa, especially in the last 2 games?
Well, his speed obviously helped increase the tempo when he got inserted into the starting lineup. Roger Bell was hurt. But, you know, like Charles said, the Phoenix Suns got into a rhythm. You know, it could have been Barbosa. It could have been Roger Bell. It could have been Jermaine Jones. All of these guys have had this type of output when they have a game like this. But the one thing I will say is that Charles and I are going to disagree because I really believe that it was good for the Lakers to start and go inside and be the inside man, as Phil Jackson said. But I also believe that those guys can't do it over 7 games. I still felt that there was games where three out of the 7 games, I thought Kobe Bryant would need to assert himself and have those big nights. I don't think there is a guy who is not accustomed to being a 20-point scorer, and you ask him for 7 games in a series to be a 20-point scorer. I don't think it happens. We're going to disagree on that, but that's just my thinking about it.
Charles?
We can disagree, but the team I said was going to win won. That's all that matters.
Why did Kobe Bryant take 3 shots in the second half?
I think he was being very selfish. I think he stopped shooting because he wanted to say, those guys didn't help me. Because normally, if they had to get down by 20 points, he would try to take over. He was not aggressive at all. He was not shooting the ball. He did it a couple of years ago when they had Shaq. He wanted to prove, you guys can't do anything without me. But the truth of the matter, he was very selfish. Hey, those guys played very well. And I know he doesn't want to take any blame, but he got, you know, once they let the Suns get the tempo up, and I know guys can say these guys can't play well, these guys played fantastic. That's why I said earlier tonight that Kobe Bryant is in the most peculiar situation of any basketball player there is. Because here's a time when he doesn't shoot, he's selfish. The night before, he shoots 35 times, he's selfish. So he's in a basketball place that very few people are. That no matter what his output is, there is some reluctance. There would be criticism because of what he does. And I think that's, to me, sometimes it's unfair. And I'm not sure if this is the case. Like I said, I go back to the fact that
here's what confuses me about this. Phil Jackson has been pretty clear on what he thought Kobe's role, for lack of a better word, was that, hey, we want to play team ball, but if we feel like we need it, then Kobe needs to assert himself and he needs to take over. So that's why 3 shots in the second half.
So he was just trying to prove a point. You know, we are going to disagree, but the truth of the matter is they can't beat the Suns. I promise they proved it during the regular season. He averaged 44 a game, and the Suns mauled them every time. But the games that they pounded the ball inside, they dominate the Suns. That's what the Suns' weakness is inside. And what Kobe does, even though Kenny says he was 20 for 35 last game, that's a good percentage. That's a great percentage. But what it does is, and Doug touched on top, those 15 shots, all it does is feed the Suns' fast breaks. And that's when the Suns on their fast break, they got the best fast break in the league, and they don't care if it's Barbosa. They don't care if it's Bell. They don't care if it's Diaw. They want to just run and gun and outshoot you, make threes, and that's their style.
We'll talk about Suns Clippers a little later in the show, but right now.
Oh, we're starting the boat. I'm going to drop the boat.
The Lakers are fishing.
Yeah, we're starting it. But I had to bring all of Hollywood with me. So I went down and I went down, got Snoop, I got Jack, Diane, I got the whole entourage, so to speak. And they all came fishing with me. Leonardo DiCaprio. He's got his hat backwards always. What are those other slugs in the back?
It looks like you got more fish than you did FGAs for Kobe Bryant tonight.
We need to talk one more time about that.
Well, I'll give you
talk one more time.
If we have time, we'll go. Just ahead on inside.
Let's talk about the team that's still in the playoffs from now.
We will. We'll look ahead to the beginning of the conference semis tomorrow.
I'm excited about Dallas and San Antonio.
That's going to be good.